Hi everyone, welcome to this new video from Not Real Engineering, and this is one of the most requested video on this channel, which is how to write user material subroutine in Abaqus. We already have multiple videos on this channel where we wrote different types of Abaqus subroutines, but we never covered user material subroutine. So let's change that today, and in this video we are going to discuss how to write very simple user material subroutine. And I created this video in such a way, let's say you don't know anything about subroutines, then this would be a good starting point to write your first subroutine in Abaqus. And the best part is whatever subroutine we will write in this video, you can download it for free from this channel's GitHub profile. You can find the link in the description box below. So let's start with what exactly subroutine is. You can think of it as some addition to Abaqus software. Say you want to model some material behavior and that cannot be defined by any inbuilt Abaqus material model. Then in that case, you will go for user material subroutine. Hence, it is a user defined code which is integrated in Abaqus. So you will have access to all other Abaqus features as well. It is written in Fortran. I know it is kind of an old language. Most of the students these days, they don't even know what is Fortran, but that's what it is. We have to live with that. It extends Abaqus capabilities beyond its built-in features. User material is one part of that. You can of course write subroutines for many other features such as custom loading conditions, custom boundary conditions, or even custom elements. But no doubt user material is one of the most widely used. So why it is important? Using these material subroutines, we can perform advanced simulations for complex materials and behaviors, which will let you facilitate custom analysis, which otherwise cannot be done using Abaqus standard features. And this freedom of implementing anything we want, that is essential for cutting edge research and specialized engineering applications. Now, most important thing to pay attention is when to use this subroutine. And that is only when you cannot perform your simulation using any Abaqus standard feature. I always say not double, but triple check if the material you want to use can be simulated using any Abaqus inbuilt material model. Abaqus has many material models already, hence it is very rare when you have to write this subroutine. Do your due diligence before going ahead with subroutine. But if you are a student, you are learning finite element analysis, then this is the best thing you can do. When you write Abaqus subroutine, you will get to know basics of finite element analysis, basics of coding, and in general how Abaqus works. As I said, there are many subroutines, but in this video, we are going to focus on user material subroutine, which is also called as UMAT. This is for Abaqus standard solver. If you want to write the same for Abaqus explicit solver, then it is called as VUMAT. That we will cover in some separate video. This video covers only UMAT. This subroutine defines mechanical constitutive behavior of any material, and this will be called at each integration point of element at each increment. Hence, you can imagine this will be called many times. So it is important to pay attention to good coding practices as well. Otherwise, your simulation can become very slow. In this subroutine, we have option of using solution dependent state variables as well. Being the first subroutine, we will not do that, but you do have that option. I asked ChatGPT to create an image showing if Abaqus UMAT was a person, and that's what it created. Recently, I was reading one article about biases in machine learning or AI, and ChatGPT will always create a male person for this, which kind of reflects the reality that this field is male dominant. But anyway, let's not get sidetracked to that. This is in short how the subroutine is going to work. When you are performing any Abaqus standard simulation, the subroutine will get called at each integration point and each increment. And whenever subroutine is called, these are the inputs provided to your subroutines, which contains total strain, strain increments, time, element number, integration point number, etc., etc. And your code should use these inputs and provide output back to Abaqus, which should be stress plus Jacobian matrix. These two outputs you have to provide. So these are compulsory. If you don't provide this, Abaqus will throw out an error. And as I said, we can also update the state variables, but this is optional. We are not going to focus on this in this video. The material model which we are going to implement is this one. Very basic isotropic elastic material model. I don't think it can get simpler than this. You know, for isotropic elastic material, we have to define only two things. One is Young's modulus and another is Poisson's ratio. And we can convert these two in elastic constants lambda and mu, as shown over here. Now what we have to provide in output. For each increment, Abaqus will provide us strain increment in a vector form, and the output should be stress. And you know the constitutive equation is nothing but relation between strain and stress. Hence in this subroutine, we have to come up with this stiffness matrix. And for isotropic elastic material, that stiffness matrix is given as shown over here. So we will know Young's modulus, Poisson's ratio. We will convert them into lambda and mu. and then we will define this stiffness matrix as shown over here. Now whenever Abaqus provides strain, we will convert that to stress, and also we have to give back this stiffness matrix itself. That's it. So overall workflow would be, from Abaqus we will get strain increment, we will also get stress from previous increment, and we will get material properties, Young's modulus and Poisson's ratio, which are actually a user input. Then we will compute elastic constants. After that we will assemble stiffness matrix, and then we will update stress using that stiffness matrix. So this is the strain increment. We will multiply that with stiffness. That will give us stress increment. So we have to add previous stress to that, and then we will get updated stress vector. Now we have everything Abaqus need. So we will return updated stress and stiffness matrix. Let's write this subroutine and solve one simple example where a 3D bar is under bending. This figure shows the geometry of 3D bar. Length, width, height, everything is given over here. We will fix one surface, and then we will apply uniform pressure on the top surface. This is how we will mesh it. And in result, we will see what is the stress, in particular Mises stress and displacement field. I'm sure you must guessed this is a very simple elastic material model which Abaqus already has. So that's the point. Here we are learning how to write subroutine. Therefore we will run two jobs. Once we will run it using Abaqus inbuilt elastic material model, and then we will run it using our own UMAT, and we should see the exact same results. Hence it is very easy to verify if whatever we wrote is correct or not. And the material properties we are going to use Young's modulus 210 gigapascal and Poisson's ratio 0.3. Just a reminder, subroutine and input file, everything is available for you to download from this channel's GitHub profile. Link is in the description box below. Let's start with Abaqus CAE. First, let's build this model using Abaqus inbuilt material, and then we will switch to UMAT. First, let's set up working directory. I created one folder named UMAT, so all the files will be saved there. Now let's create a part, 3D deformable, let's say 100. Creating one rectangle, and in our case it is square. So let's dimension it. This should be 5 and this should be 5. Now for us it doesn't matter where it is oriented in space, but if you want one corner to be at 0, 0, what you can do is just delete this entire thing. And while creating the rectangle, you can give one corner at 0, 0 and other corner as 5, 5. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So we are done here. Length is 20. Say OK. Bar is ready. Now let's go to property. First, we are going to use Abaqus inbuilt material. Hence, I will rename this as Abaqus material. And we have to define only two things. First is Young's modulus, which is 210 gigapascal. We will convert that into megapascal because we are following this SI mm unit system, as our bar dimensions are in millimeter. So this has to be in megapascal. Therefore, 3 more zeros. Poisson's ratio is 0.3. Say OK. Create section and assign that section to this bar. Next, go to assembly, create one instance, then step, create a static general step. To be honest, we don't have to change anything over here, but let's fix the increment so we can compare our both results in much better way. So let's say increment size 0.1. We will have 10 increments. Then let's go to load. I'm going to fix this surface over here. Let me name this as fix, and that we can do for initial step. Say continue, select this surface, and we can choose the last option where all the degrees of freedom will be fixed. Then let's apply pressure. I will rename this as load, and this we have to apply to step 1. Let's say pressure, continue, select this surface, say done, and the value should be 10. No need to change anything else. Let's go to mesh, choose mesh on part. Then let's apply global seeds. Approximate size, it is saying 2. If we apply that, it looks fine for us. Let's say OK and mesh it. Just to make sure if element type is correct, you can go to mesh, element type, select this region and make sure this is what you want. Now in our case, we want 3CD8 element. We don't want this reduce integration. Hence I will uncheck this and say OK. That's it. Let's create a job. I will name it as Abaqus material. Say continue. OK. And I think I can submit it. Now we are in 2026, so I don't want to use that old meme anymore. If you saw old videos, then you know which meme I'm talking about. Okay, it's done. It was very quick. Let's see the results. This is the mice stress, and if you see the displacement, this is the displacement. As expected, this is the fixed end, so we have maximum displacement over here, and the mice stress will be concentrated near the fixed end, and free end will have almost zero stress. Now let's run this same job, but instead of using Abaqus inbuilt material model, we will use subroutine, and we should have exact same results. So let me close this, and to do that, we have to go to this material. Let me copy this material, and now I will say UMAT material. Okay, so you have now another material over here. Let's open this. Whenever we give Young's modulus and Poisson's ratio to Abaqus, so what it does in the background, the same thing we will do by writing that Fortran code into UMAT subroutine. Now to change that, let's delete this one first. Now go to general and say user material. Two constant we will define over here. So first can be Young's modulus and then Poisson's ratio. These two constant Abaqus will transfer to our subroutine where we will use them. Now I change this. So let me change the section as well. Here instead of Abaqus material, I am using now UMAT material. Say OK. Create one more job. Here we will say UMAT material. And in job, we have to go to general and select our subroutine file. So let me put subroutine file in our working directory. Here is the subroutine file. I just copy pasted it in working directory. You can also download this file and copy paste in your working directory, and you will get a template, and then you can change it as per your need. After doing this, we just have to select that file from here. Say OK. Let's open this file in Notepad and see what's inside. First few lines, those are just standard things. You don't have to change anything over here. And if you scroll down, first you will get all the declarations of different parameters we are going to use in this subroutine. Then whatever constants we defined, remember we defined two constants over here. So these constants will get transferred to this subroutine using this props parameter. Now we know the first one is Young's modulus, so I am assigning that to E, and then second one is Poisson's ratio, so I am assigning that to NU. Our next task is to compute these elastic constants which are shown over here. That is exactly what we are doing over here. And once we have that, we will build a stiffness tensor. I'm just doing it in the form of loops. If you literally define each term, then also it is fine, doesn't matter. So we did this. Next is to update the stress. For that, we need strain increment. So this is the strain increment Abaqus provides, and we also need stress from previous increment. This is the stress from previous increment. If you go up, you can see some explanation what these parameters are, and you can also see what these parameters are. This is the size of stress or strain array. This is number of direct stress components. So in 3D it will be 3, and then these are number of shear stress components. So again in 3D it will be 3. We are writing this subroutine in this way. Here we are not using directly 1 to 6, but instead of that we are keeping it from 1 to n tens, so that we can use this subroutine for two-dimensional analysis as well. Abaqus will change these parameters accordingly, and then subroutine will work fine even for 2D analysis. Now the last step what we said is we have to return updated stress and stiffness matrix. We don't have to do this step explicitly, as you are updating these two parameters. Abaqus already gets the updated value, and that's all. Subroutine ends over here. Now, if you want to use this subroutine for your own material model, what you have to do is keep the overall format as it is, and you just have to change maybe from here all the way to here. Don't change anything in the top. If you define more constants, you can add some lines here and then change the stiffness calculation and stress update accordingly. Now let's go back to Abaqus CAE and submit this job as well. Quick note, before running your first Abaqus subroutine, you have to install Intel Fortran compiler and link it with your Abaqus. If you don't know how to do that, I have a separate video on this channel. Please check that out first. And we are done. Let's open the result and see if we are getting same values or not. Let me actually see what values we were getting first. So for Abaqus material, for mice stress, we were getting 3.8 into 10 raised to 2 as maximum stress. Let's see what we are getting over here. And it is exactly same. You can see overall results are also same. If we go to displacement, again we are getting 9.3, and in this we are getting 9.39. So correct. I think this is a good point to stop. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below, and also let me know what videos you would like to see next. If you like this video, please show your support by subscribing to this channel, which will give me motivation to create more educational videos like these. And as always, thank you for watching.